Hey everybody, I am the MoeChicken. Welcome to my stream. Yep. So tonight, what are we doing? Tonight I haven't done this in a little while. We're gonna do an art stream. I was planning on doing this tonight anyway, and so I figured, hey, why don't I stream it? I didn't really feel like playing a game, and I got started on a couple of pictures I was working on last night, and I was very happy with them, so I want to do more of it tonight. So I thought I'd bring y'all along. Let's go ahead and switch over. Blah. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong monitor. So, as is evident in the title of the stream, I'm going to be drawing characters from Genshin Impact tonight. And I got on one of my monitors, I've got source material, but that is not the monitor I want to show. How do I change this? Blah 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 blah. Transform. No properties. My third monitor. Is it this one? There we go. Okay, yeah, that looks right. Done. Okay. And I have music. Let me know if that comes across too strong. I'm not trying to get the background music too much. It's a little loud on my end too. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so you can see. Well, you should be able to see my screen here. As you can see, I've started a picture of Lumine, who is the female protagonist from Genshin. Show you an overall picture of her. Again, this is what she looks like. I'm working on just bust shots here, so it's just kind of her head. I already did the male protagonist, Ether, last night. That's Ether. So I worked on him last night, and I was like, I want to do Lumine 2 and maybe some more characters. So we're going to do that tonight. And let me get my thing back. How does mice work? How do mice work? There. Move back over here. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. I just want, I was gonna do this anyway. I was like, I'll just stream it. Why not? Let's see. So let's start. As you can see, I've already kind of got the basic lines of her face going. And now I'm working on this kind of little flowery thing. Now, I should mention, I do not actually use Lumine in my my Genshin Impact playery, as I am completely obsessed with the game during my downtime, unfortunately. Oh, hey, Lori. Welcome. No video games tonight. Just going to be drawing. But you're welcome to stick around. Yeah, I don't use Lumine. My friend does. And actually, sort of a funny thing about it, I was introduced to the game after a couple of my other friends were playing the game already. So they both started. I gotta put my drink in a different place. There, you can live over there. They both started pretty much when the game came out in America, at least, and I started a while later, and so I was regaled by their tales of early experience. Is this right? Oh yeah, there's another pedal here. Their experiences early on, and they both chose different protagonists. One of my friends chose Lumine, and the other chose Ether. And no worries. I mean, I'm glad to see you anytime you come by, Lori. So if you gotta go, you gotta go. It'll be a VOD later. It might not even be a long one. I'm gonna do this until I get tired of it. So, but glad to see you. Thanks for stopping by. But stay as long as you like. And I'll ramble on as I always do. Anyway, yeah. So they each chose one of the different characters. And one of my friends, his sole reason for the friend of mine who chose Ether, his sole reason for choosing Ether was not that he thought Ether looked cool, but that Ether was wearing pants. Because he assumed with how very girly both of the protagonists look, they were both female. And so he's like, well, if we're going to be doing a lot of like jumping and climbing and so forth, I want the one that's wearing pants. She seems better prepared. So it wasn't until sometime later that he found out that one is a boy and one's a girl. But yeah. You run that risk when you got Bishi protagonists, as you wind up with people not knowing what gender or what who's what. That doesn't really matter, I suppose. You be what you were born to be, whatever that is. Is that fair to say? Be whatever you believe you are. whatever. I'm gonna stop. Aborted. Too controversial. Aborted. Just trying to support people. That's all. Oh, so I'm on to this task of giving her wispy hair, because both her and her brother have very wispy hair. Now, one thing that's kind of cool about Genshin, as compared to other games where you can choose a boy or a girl, is that they're not like, it's not a mutually exclusive thing like you see in some other games where, you know, you choose the gender of the, no, it's not good. Do it again. You choose the gender of the protagonist, and that is what exists in real life. In Genshin, both characters are characters in the actual world, which is kind of cool, because usually, like, you think about something like Legend of Mana, when you choose the boy or the girl, the other one doesn't exist. You basically choose who's going to exist and who doesn't. And actually, the very fact that they both exist is a central plot point, because at the very, if you've never played, if you play the game before, you know what I'm talking about. But if you've never played the game before, this might help for context. At the very beginning of the game, these two characters, who are siblings, find themselves beset by an enemy, a mysterious enemy, who flings both of them into this world called Tevat. And so both of them are sort of like, they're both aliens to this world. And to make matters worse, right when this happens, they lose track of each other. So depending on who you're playing as, you're either looking for your sister or you're looking for your brother the whole time. And actually, that is basically the principal goal throughout the game. Anytime the traveler, as they tend to refer to the character, is questioned, he says, I'm looking for my sister. And so it's just kind of cool that, like, there's this central objective, because, you know, like, you think about so many RPGs and stuff, the goals of the protagonists are typically very high-minded, you know? It's like, I want to save the world from blah, blah, blah. I want to defeat the big bad guy. I cannot let this injustice stand, whatever. Let's see, how are we doing? Doing okay. Is her neck too fat? Her chin needs to be a little pointier. But in this one, he's really just like, I lost my sister and I want to get her back. You know? It's like, I lost my sister. Where is she? Bring her back. And there's something kind of refreshing about that. I like that. But, doggone it. I hate trying, should I rotate the canvas a little bit here? All right. What is the reset rotate? What is reset rotation? There we go. Control R. Yeah, I don't know. I like when the protagonist has like a personal feeling to it. Sometimes it kind of depends. Kind of depends on how it's planned out. Like, you take something like FF12. Ostensibly, the person who has the most, I guess, personal arc. Oh, come on, I'm mixing up all my controls now. Would be like Vaughn, you know, because he's got this strong connection via his brother, and I guess you could say that Ash has like a really strong connection to Rossler and stuff like that. But Vaughn's character development is just handled terribly. Like, I tried playing the game again not too long ago, and I was kind of hoping that it would be better. But I mean, like Vaughn would be better. But really, he's just as bad as I remembered him being. They just didn't. Oh, wait, hang on. What's going on here? Something's wrong. What happened? When did this... Okay, there we go. Somehow I flattened it. Oh, I flattened it when I was trying to fix the rotation. Okay, well, we lost everything I just did, but the thing's not flat anymore, so that's important. Yeah, like, I feel like with FF12, they were trying really hard to create this notion of, like, sort of dual protagonists in Ash and Vaughn, and so they tried to create like a a rational reason as to why Vaughn was supposed to be there, but it just didn't work, in my opinion. Like, again, my opinion, subjective, blah, 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 all that. If you like it, great. But for me, that was my opinion. I really think that they kind of botched his character development, and I think that he just kind of comes across as a character like everyone else. I think even Penelo has a reason for being there. You know, Penelo has a reason because she forges like a strong connection to Larsa, even though like, you know, she was originally just a tag along. She becomes very connected to Larsa, which establishes her position in the story. And like, you know, Balthier's there because he has this connection to Treasure, and you know, actually they do a good job of showing him kind of getting like just pulled along early on, and eventually he becomes more connected to the rest of the plot. Of course, Ash is there because she's trying to rebuild her kingdom. Bosch is there because he feels like he's got a responsibility to protect the, you know, the sole royal of his kingdom. Fran's there because of her, you know, connection to Balthier, and Vaughn's just there, you know. Vaughn's just there. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Again, if you like it, good for you. You know, you enjoy what you like. For me, it's his character is just not that impressive. Oh my gosh, no. Oh hey, some Samurai Legend Musashi music. Musashi. Don't worry, we have not given up on Samurai Legend Musashi, by the way. If there are people out there that are like, why aren't you playing Samurai Legend Musashi? I'm going to go back to it. I was actually originally considering doing that tonight. But then I was like, I don't want to stream. I'm going to do a different thing. And then I did this. So there. But we will get back to it. Because I do like that game. It's a very solid game. All right. Let's see. So how are we looking? Okay, she's starting to take shape. I like her hair. Her hair's very like it. Her hair is a very short bob. I'll show you again. She's got like a very short bob, but it has these little like dingly, like dangly parts. Which now that I'm looking at them, do I have them in the wrong place? Since I don't play as this character, I'm not as familiar with her. But it looks like maybe that's more on this side. It looks like it's on the side. Like it looks like a side lock here. I guess that's what that's supposed to be. Okay, yeah. She's got these long side locks, kind of like Maria has, but in the back it's like cropped short. It's cute. It's a cute style. Bleh, 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 bleh. There we go. But yeah, I want to finish her, and I might work on another one. I'm probably gonna try to draw my main party in the game, which is basically the characters they give you for free. I got like my main party consists of Amber, Lisa, Kaya, Sucrose, and Noelle, or Sucrose, Noelle, and Barbara. So pretty much like the Knights of Favonius crew. I would have chosen Jean if I had gotten Jean earlier. Like I recently got Jean as a playable character, and I probably would have chosen her as my Animo character if not for the fact that it just took so dang long to get her. So, but yeah, I'll probably draw one of them. Probably Amber. I'll probably draw Amber. Let's face it, she's my favorite. I love Amber. She's so cute. She's all like bunny oriented. You got this whole rabbit thing going on. It's very adorable. I love when she nuzzles Baron Bunny. So cute. So cute. Also, side note about Amber, which because that is something that I think is very interesting. Did you know she's originally from Liyue? I found that very surprising. If you don't know anything about Genshin Impact, you won't know what I'm talking about. But if you do, that might be an interesting little tidbit of knowledge. Her grandfather came from Liyue. Her grandfather is also the first outrider of Mondstadt. Another side note that you might not know, Mondstadt is German for City of the Moon. So there you go. I don't know why. That has nothing to do with wind, but it is German for City of the Moon, so there you go. All right, let's see. I think at this point I can probably do without the original sketch. Give her some more hair hanging down here at the bottom. But yeah, I started using the main, like, I use those characters not necessarily because they're like optimal. I'm not really an optimally minded player in games. Y'all know that. You see me play games in a terribly unoptimized way. But I chose them because like they felt like the main characters early in the game. You know, like whenever I would get like a character from a draw or something, I would just be like, okay, so what do they do? And oftentimes they were just kind of like, they felt like side characters. The only reason I use Noelle actually is because for a long time I didn't know that any character other than Barbara could heal people. And so like for the first like 2 chapters, like pretty much through Leela, I only, like, Barbara was always in my party, or I ate food to heal myself. I didn't know any better. But eventually I found out that Noelle could heal too. And so those two became like central aspects of my party. All right. Let's see, let's fix this up here. But yeah, I've since found out that there are more characters than just that who can heal. And so I have like a second party that I'm building up right now. But yeah. I don't know. I just liked the characters that the game gave me. And I stuck with them for most of the time. All right. Let's see. I'm going to give her more of a... to match the other side. Okay, cool. All right, let's start giving her some color. Yeah, actually, let's save and then give her some color. All right, so I will use the same colors as her brother because it's appropriate. Oh, they're right here. Okay, good deal. I already have them. By the way, is the music okay? Why is the desktop audio turned off? I've been sitting here assuming you guys were listening to the music. I'm sorry, all you could hear was me. Does it sound okay now? Let me check myself. Open up my own stream, blah, 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 blah. How am I gonna do this? Let's see. Okay. Okay. It's a little quiet. It's a little quiet. All right. Well, I guess let me know if you can't hear it. I don't know. I don't know about streaming. I don't know things. I don't know things. I'm just doing my best. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway. Yeah, okay, so we're back on the screen. Good. Alright. Let's start with her eyes. So yeah, I started working on these 2 illustrations last night because I've been in a little bit of a slump recently because I've been working on the same picture for a long time, and it's still not done, and it's driving me crazy. Here, I'll show you the other one I'm working on. It's a picture of Maria, in a costume. Nope, not that. Not that. Which? There we go. Here, let's see. So, this is the picture I was working on. I'm pretty pleased with it. I still think it looks nice. There's a reason for it all being gray that I'll explain in a second. But I drew this from my head. I was trying to come up with a costume that was sort of divorced from how do I put this? Okay, so creative folks out there might know what I'm talking about, but do you ever have a situation where you try to develop a series of something and it becomes a burden? that's sort of what happened to me. I had this idea for a series of pictures. I'll go ahead and switch back to Lumion while I'm talking. I had this idea for a series of pictures, or a series of character designs that I was trying to come up with for like a, I guess sort of like an RPG, based around this series of like job classes oriented towards a color wheel. So like you had this collection of like magic wielders that were known by like as red caster, blue caster, and each one did a different thing. And that's a little inconvenient that most of her eyes behind the hair. We're not gonna get a whole lot of accent there. Let's see, what did I do with him? What did I do with him? Okay, yeah, that's what I did with him. Also, you'll see one thing here. I gave him this like black collar. He doesn't actually have that. I don't know how I messed that up. I was so convinced that he had like a collar. But I was playing today, he doesn't have a collar. He just wears his little scarf thing. You can see him in the picture too. It's like, I have no idea how I came up with a collar for him, but I gave him a collar. He doesn't have one though. Anyway, yes, I have like this collection of images, or collection of like character designs, and I was so convinced that they were awesome, but I was overwhelmed with this desire to have them as a series. I was so convinced that it's like, I need to make this a series of pictures. And it just sapped all of the creative energy out of it because I was more focused on the prospect of having it complete than the joy of making it. And, you know, to people out there who are in the same situation as me, you know, you're a creative type out there, and this starts to creep into your mind, you know, take my example. Don't let it happen. Don't let the fun of creating be stolen away by notions of productivity, because it will steal away the fun. You'll become more obsessed with the concept of, is it done yet, than, you know, what's fun about this picture, you know, what's fun about what I'm doing right now. So anyway, all that to say, I had been working with this same suite of character designs for so long, and I couldn't get it done, couldn't get it done. And so I took to, I'll show you, I found a collection of art by a person named Katagiri Hachigo. I don't know anything about them except this collection of images, so, you know, no bearing on the person, but they do, from what I can tell, their main thing that they do, well, first of all, they draw scantily clad women. Go figure. But they seem to like to make human Pokemon. So take Pokemon and imagine them as humans. So, like, for example, here's a Kangaskhan. No, this screen, please. We got this Kangaskhan. You can tell because it's got the little toy down here, but it's kind of a neat idea. And let's see if we find another one this is, I think this is, what is that guy's name? It's the final evolution of Torchic. Is it Blaziken? I think it's Blaziken. And so that's all well and good, but what was most beneficial to me is they had these sheets of characters in basic standing positions. And for me, one of the hardest things for me to do in terms of drawing is just coming up with the pose. Once I've got the pose, I can go. But coming up with the pose is so hard. And so this picture, too many things, I only have one screen, I'm used to having three. This picture of Maria in this pose is actually from one of these sheets. Let's see, who is it? Is it this one? I think it's from a different one. Let's see. This one? No, not this one. This one? I think it was this one, but where is she? I thought it was this one. I don't see the pose I drew. could have sworn it was from this page. Now I want to find it. What's this one? No, it's not this one. This one? No. You might actually be able to recognize some of the Pokemon on here, which I think is kind of fun. Like I think this one down here is a Growlithe. That's kind of fun. Which one was it? It's gonna bug me now. Oh, here she is. Yeah, this one. There she is. Zoom up here. Yeah, so you look at this and then you compare it to my pose. And you can see with the, she doesn't have the pole arm, but it's the same general pose. Anyway, all that to say, I had intended for this to reinvigorate me, and it did at first. I've been working on this stupid picture for like 2 weeks now, off and on. And frankly, I'm running out of inspiration for it. Oh, I was going to explain why it's gray. So another thing that I like to do, just sort of in general, is I frequently use illustrations I do as computer backgrounds on my desktop. And what is going on? Okay, I gotta draw the design on her little thing here. And one of the things I like to do to kind of like get a little bit more out of a single picture is I will make it kind of like color change. So I guess I'll show this too. Is the screen? Well, you can't see it there. Is this interesting at all? Are you guys at all excited about like learning about my computer? Probably not. I'm showing you anyway. Okay, so you can see here this character looks like this. Right click, next desktop background. It's a different character. I gotta cycle until you see the same character again. Hang on. There you go. Okay, so she's it's the same pose, different colors. The way I would do that is I separate all of the individual parts onto their own like layers, and then just sort of change individual colors so that I can kind of create different costumes with the same picture. And so usually the best way to do that is to just make it gray, because then you're not having to worry about any, like, you're allowed to be as creative as you want to. You don't have any like pre-existing expectations or anything like that. So I wind up doing this in gray, but the problem is, and I think this is part of what made me lose enthusiasm, it feels very, well, gray. It just doesn't feel very exciting while you're working on it, because the fun, like, color changey part comes at the very end, and that part's fun. But while you're making it, you don't really feel any attachment to the initial drawing. So maybe not the best strategy. I probably need to reevaluate that one as well. But this is how we learn. You make mistakes. That's how you learn. That was the message of that movie, Meet the Robinsons. If you ever saw that, was be glad to make mistakes, because when you do, you learn. When you succeed, you don't learn. Succeeding feels good, does not improve matters at all. But when you fail, that's when you learn. That's when you find out what went wrong, and you can make it better tomorrow. But yeah. All right, let's start adding color again. All right, so with Ether, what I did was mostly color his hair, and I think that's probably going to be the same thing with Lumi. I'll mostly just focus on her hair. I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out, though. Especially considering I don't know this character at all. It's like I just had to kind of guess on her personality. Because, when you draw a character, especially a character with that has like an established personality, you kind of want to play to that personality in terms of the expression in the character. But if you don't know who the character is, or if they're a blank slate, it's kind of like, it's tougher. So you're like, so what about this character? What do they do? What are they excited about? I don't know anything about this person. It's a bit more difficult. We got some good Persona 4 music in here now. People out there played Persona 4 before? That was my first Persona game. I was really into it. It was funny too, because like I got it as a present from a friend, sort of on a whim. Like I had this is the same friend who loaned me his binder full of video games, which has been a wonderful boon. Thank you very much, that person, if you're watching. But I was looking through it and I was like, man, I wish like I saw Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, and I was like, wow, this game is so cool. I wonder what it's like. I'd love to play one of these games sometime. And that friend remembered that. Like, mind you, my birthday is in like at the end of the year, like around Christmas. He remembered it from like February. And he was like, I got you this. Do you remember at the beginning of the year when you said you wanted to play a Shin Megami Tensei game? Well, I heard that this was the most popular one, so I got you this one. And I was like, oh, I vaguely remember what you're talking about. Thank you for the present. Oh my goodness. But yeah, he actually got me he got me Persona 3 and 4 at the same time. And originally I was going to play 3 first. But then another friend of mine who was also interested in the series told me so, and I'm like, okay, well, why don't you play 3 and I'll play 4 and we'll compare and see what they're like. So in the end, I got the one that was like, frankly, I think the more positive of the two. She got the one that whose main theme was death, and I got the one whose main theme was truth. So I kind of lucked out there, but I definitely got into the game. Like, one of the things that was originally kind of making me hesitant to play it was the time thing. Like how you know, it's a timed game. You've only got so long to do everything, and so you can't do everything in the game. You know, it's a game kind of like most of the, what do you call them, Atelier games, where, you know, you have a very strict time limit, and so there's a limit to what you can actually accomplish within a single run. It's a game that's designed for you to play it multiple times, you know? And at first, that drove me up the wall, because I'm like, no, I want to get everything. I want to get my best ending. I want to do everything. And I actually think that the experience taught me a lot about not being quite so hung up on that. So, a good experience. Good experience. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make a different color for the back of that. Use this for but yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I really, really liked Persona 5. Persona 5 was a great success for me. So cool. I've never played 3. You know, I watched my friend play through it, and it was very entertaining, but you know what it really comes down to? I hated the idea that I wouldn't be able to control my characters. I hate that. I hate auto battle. I really don't like auto battle in games. I like being able to decide what happens. I mean, it's like, I'm playing the game, let me play the game. Don't force me to auto battle. With the sole exception of FF12, where, you know, they had the gambit system and you could very clearly tailor what you wanted everyone to do. I liked that. But when you have like ambiguous things like focus on healing or go all out, I'm like, no, come on, guys. I don't know what that means. I don't know what my characters are gonna do now. Also, I think 3 was the one where, like, if your protagonist went down, you lost regardless of what condition everyone else is in. That is nonsense. I hate that concept. It's like, we got this whole group of other folks here, all of whom have healing and revival items. You just let them wake me up, y'all. What? So, like, once I go down, they're like, oh, I guess we're gonna give up. We've got this great apocalyptic destruction in front of us, but whatever, this guy fell, so I guess we're done. Is my leadership really so integral when you don't even let me control them? Hate auto battle systems. They're dumb. It's a stupid thing. Usually. It really depends, I guess. I guess I shouldn't make broad, sweeping gestures like that. Depends. This latest time that I played through Dragon Quest VIII, I actually used the auto battle a lot because, you know, I played DQ8 before and I knew I liked it, but the parts of it that I liked weren't the battles, and so I was just like, I'm just gonna go past the battle parts, you know? Just gonna let everybody do their own thing. They know what they're doing. I'll just control my main character and everyone else can do what they're good at. And Yangus is so good at being adorable. Yangus was a standout hit in that game. If you've ever played Dragon Quest VIII, Yangus is the man. Oh my gosh. And he's such a Yangus is such a great character for showing how player bias and like how player expectations can be subverted through clever use of character design. So if you never, I guess I should show you. If you've never seen Yangus before, I'll show you. Yangus is a decidedly non-heroic looking character. DQ8. Yangus. Where is he? There he is. I don't know why they're chibis here, but there he is. This is Yangus. This is a stalwart, reliable protagonist character. Next to like pretty boy character and like Bishonen girl. Not Bishonen girl, Bishojo girl. Excuse me. She's beautiful man girl. Dude is like the best character. And like when I first saw him in the game, I'm like, okay, this guy's gonna betray me in like 2 beats. And it's like I figured he was just like a, you know, like a throwaway character that they get at the very beginning, and he like betrays you for something, and then you get your real party. But no, Yangus is a bro through and through, and I love him for it. So cool. And I was like, man, I totally judge this guy on appearance. I feel bad about that, because that's even like part of his storyline, is that everyone judged him on appearance, and so no one ever gave him a chance until the protagonist did. And that's part of the reason why he's so like stalwart, is that he's just like, this guy helped me at a time when no one else would. I'm gonna help him however I can. It's just like a nice message. It's like, stop judging people in their appearance. Jeez. Anyway, off of soapbox. Yangus is a cool character. Apparently he was also very popular. From what I understand, he was popular with both the English-speaking and the Japanese audiences. So that's nice. It's nice to hear that. I was talking the other day about that manga collection I was reading, right? The one about the Toriyama manga theater. I think I talked about that. Basically, it's a collection of like short run or one-offs that Akira Toriyama did, like short manga one-offs he did, and it's so cool to see early Toriyama stuff, like before, you know, Dragon Ball Z, before he really got known for big burly men punching each other. He was like a gag comic. He's really good at it. And you can definitely see that if you go back and look at like the art from early Dragon Quest games. You can see how strongly that like that I just want to make people laugh vibe comes through, because like all the monsters are like really silly looking, and it's interesting too, because like when I back when I was younger, I would try to like design monsters and stuff, and I always tried to make them look cool, you know? It's like I want all my monsters to look cool. So if I ever make a video game, it's gonna have cool monsters, like how cool they are. And you take someone like Toriyama, right from the start, you know, like this company Enix was like, hey, can you draw our monsters for our upcoming video game? And he didn't think, oh, I better make him look cool. He's like, I'm gonna draw a derpy slime. And guess what? That derpy slime is one of the most recognizable video game characters in the world. I don't know. It's just a really, like, reading Toriyama's old stuff is just a great example of how, of a person who's like, I don't care if people think it looks cool. I want to draw what looks fun, you know? You have all these, like, fancy, like, beautiful characters that all look the same, and then you have, you know, characters that are fun. It's why, even though I'm not a big fan of One Piece as a comic, I strongly respect the art style, because it takes work to be as creative as that comic is. Like, there is so much creativity in terms of, like, the character designs. Everybody looks weird and freaky, and it's amazing. It's ugly. It's one of those things that's like, okay, you put a lot of effort into making something that's unattractive to look at, but it's very creative. And again, personal feelings. If you like One Piece, great. That means you like something that I don't. That puts you ahead of me. So just think of it like that, and don't throw eggs at me, please. But yeah, I don't know. There's something to be said for being able to draw characters that are diverse and striking over characters who are just sort of generically attractive, you know? So that's that. All that to say, really respect Toriyama. I respect, what is his name? Oda? Kensuke Oda? Gotta look it up. But, One Piece author. Eiichiro Oda. Okay. Yeah. You know, takes effort. It's impressive. I respect it. I just wish the comic wasn't so dang long. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I think, like, I have a friend who's been watching One Piece for years now, and he's like, it's such a great story. It's an amazing story. The length and the perspective is incredible. You know, this author's been drawing this for like years, and it's not just filler. It's like a very clearly defined arc. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's still like 5,000 episodes or something. You know, I'm not going to start that now. I'm not going to get into it now. If you haven't been interacting with One Piece, you know, within the past several years, then you just may not be worth your time, dude. It's a lot. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to get into One Piece. But maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't know things. I'm just drawing. Speaking of, how are we doing? She's looking pretty good. She's going to be lighter than her brother. Just in general. It's about the same amount of character design. Do a little bit more, maybe we'll move on to somebody else. I think I'm here by myself right now, so otherwise I would ask for recommendations, or if people want to see me draw something else, I can do that too. But since I think I am here on my own, I will indulge myself and just draw what I'm drawing. Just draw what I'm drawing, and hopefully people will like it. I gotta say, shout out to my good friend who recommended this program to me years ago, or rather recommended finding a better program. So I'm using Clip Studio Paint EX, as you can see up there. It's a little expensive, but you know, once you buy it, you have it. And I used to use the GNU. I think it's either is it GNU? It's either GNU or GNU image manipulation program, aka GIMP. And I just didn't bother to look for anything better. And then a friend of mine, because I had used it for years, and I was like, well, it works. I'm not going to switch. Why switch? It works. And this friend was like, dude, you know, there's like he was hearing me complain about some basic something in on the GIMP. I'm like, man, it's a shame that computers haven't gotten better than this. He's like, do you know that? Have you checked? And I was like, what? I should check and see if technology has improved in the past 5 years? No way! And guess what it had? Not say GIMP is a bad program. It's a great program, especially considering it's free. But there were certain things that I wanted that it could not provide. Namely, I wanted gestural strokes, so like that. If this were GIMP, it would be a uniform thickness throughout, and I wanted something that was a little bit more flexible for using a tablet, since I had one. Primarily, I used GIMP before I had a tablet to work with, like when I was still drawing pictures by hand in the real world, scanning them, and then digitally coloring them. Now that I've got like a tablet to work with, I think it works better with Clip Studio. So, plus Clip Studio can animate, and that is how we have made animations in the past. Cool. All right, there she is. Excellent. Ooh, stretch a little bit. All right, let's do somebody else. Bring it over here so we can look. Genshin Pack Gallery. I was thinking of doing Beidou. Beidou is super cool. She's one of my favorite characters. She's like she would have been in my main party, except for the fact that I got her too late. So, she's cool, but we're not gonna do Beidou. Not gonna do Beidou. Who else do we have? I could do Noelle. I'll do Noelle. Man, that's not gonna do well. Oh, good. My 3D print just finished. I could do Lisa. I do love Lisa. I do love Lisa. Actually, you know what? You know who I kind of want to do? I kind of want to do Kaya. This dude. Look at his hair. Isn't his hair great? It's a gorgeous color of hair. Let's do Kaya. Let's do Kaya. All right. So let's see here. New. It's a shame I don't have anywhere I can actually post these. Then if anyone wanted them, I could post them somewhere, but I don't have anything like that. So hang on, let's tilt this a little bit. Sorry if I get quiet during this part. I'm just focusing. I guess you could say. I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing. Oh, Chrono Trigger. You were one of my first and best influences when I was younger. Chrono Trigger is basically how I started learning to draw, I guess you'd call it like anime-styled characters, because before that, I didn't draw any of them. It was that I was so enraptured with Chrono Trigger that I wanted to learn to draw like this. You know, it's like I wanted to draw characters that look like characters from Chrono Trigger because I loved the game so much. I was like, no, I want to draw like this. I want to learn to draw this way. And so using like the sprites as like a guide, I learned to draw the characters. And yeah, they were terrible at first. You know, it's like I wasn't good at it. I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, it's amazing how like love for one particular game radically altered my art style. And not necessarily for the better or for the worse, you know. I think it's different now. It's different from the way I used to draw. You'll note I'm avoiding working on his face. Too much. I feel like the important part is kind of off to the side here. I've placed his eyeball too far away. Oh, well, that's fine. That's a funny thing. Like, stuff like eye patches are so common in video games. Especially in, like, oftentimes on characters that, like, use weapons, like melee weapons. Have you ever tried to, like, cover your eye and do anything? Like, just do anything? It's like, I don't know, like, I mean, full props to anyone who has had to suffer, like, the loss of an eye or the loss of any sort of sense and has not gone insane as a result. Oh my gosh, it's so, like, if I lost a hand, I wouldn't be able to play video games anymore. Easily, at least. It'd be very hard for me to play games. I lost, like, my hearing. I wouldn't be able to hear music anymore. I wouldn't be able to hear... What am I listening to? What is this? This is... Don't Get Started by... Oh, I Can't Get Started by... Bunny Berrigan. I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have that if I lost my hearing. And that would be awful. It's just like, I don't know. I feel bad for the people that have lost their senses, but I'm very happy I have not. Actually, that's one thing that I'm currently a little worried about. I'm a little worried my hearing might be going. I really hope that's not the case. Mostly because sometimes apparently I'm too loud at night. Apparently I bother my upstairs neighbors. And it makes me wonder if things are louder than I'm realizing. Because like when I haven't really been trying to like play my music loud or anything like that. It just seems normal to me, but apparently to them it's intolerable. And so it's like, is my hearing bad? Can I just not hear anymore? Is that the problem? All right, Kaya, you're coming along. He's such a slinky sort of character too, isn't he? He's all like, he's snide and he's sarcastic and he's crass and he's lazy. He's all get out. He's a fun character. Usually I kind of have a problem with characters like that because as a person who is very easily deceived, anyone who uses deception is especially effective against me. And so a character who is like entirely based around this concept of being like snarky and deceptive, it's like this guy could make me do whatever. I wouldn't know any better. All right. Cool. I should save this. This is Kaya. Where was it? Reasons. Okay. Back. Made. Kaya. Yeah. Of course, always the danger when you're drawing any sort of Bishi character is that it's so hard to make them actually Bishi. Some people are really good at making characters look Bishi. I try. I do my best. I'm not great at it. I do my best. But due to personal interests, of course, I started off trying to learn to draw pretty women, frankly. And so I've only within recent years tried to balance that out and learn to draw pretty men, too. It's tough. Don't get as excited. Hope y'all are enjoying my my drawing soundtrack, which is basically what we've been listening to this whole time. There's music from various sources, mostly video games. Oh, sort of unrelated, but it popped in my head for some reason. I have a YouTube recommendation that I've been very much enjoying recently. It is a channel called Ahoy, A-H-O-Y. The author puts out a lot of videos on various things, as do most people. It's a very helpful statement, no? But in particular, I really like his videos on influential video games, and also he has this playlist called Iconic Arms. Is that too mean? I may have gone too mean with his eyebrow there. Yeah, maybe a little bit too mean. Let's relax this a little bit. Anyway, yeah, so like the Iconic Arms one is based on, like, he tells the history and usage of various weapons throughout, like, or various, like, guns. And it's so interesting. Like, first of all, the guy's voice is amazing. Whoever Stuart Brown is, he's got a great voice. But it's just like, for a person like myself, I like history. I like learning about that sort of stuff. It's so interesting because, like, prior to my watching this, I never thought of guns as anything other than something that shoots people. You know, it's like it kills people. It is a thing that kills people. But these videos present the guns almost more like works of art, you know? Like works of fine engineering, and it's so interesting to watch. So if that sounds at all interesting, if that sounds at all compelling or anything, go watch it. Ahoy, A-H-O-I. Very good. Find him on YouTube. And enjoy, hopefully. All right, let's see here. I actually, I recently recommended it to my dad because my dad is a war buff. He used to be in the army, and he loves, like, war movies and stuff like that. And so I'm like, you know, Dad might like this. So I sent it to him. I'll see if he actually watches it. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. He's not really a big YouTuber, but maybe he'll watch it, hopefully. We'll see. But I think it's really cool, so there. So there. And one of the things that most struck me about his art, about his videos, is like how good the visuals are. Because like he uses a mixture of footage from games primarily, and very like minimalist graphic design images. And as a person who, you know, has a degree in graphic design, I'm like, this is so well done. Like, I really wish that I could just like download some of the art assets from his videos to just use as like computer backgrounds, because they look so good. Here, I'll show you. I'll do a little more advertisement. Here we go. I'll just show you the thumbnails and how good they are. We won't actually watch a video, but let's see. The iconic arms ones looks really good. Yeah, you see these? Like, see how like strong the impact of all these are, and like the colors in these, I think, are supposed to reflect the country of origin. Just so well done, so well done. Totally recommend. Go watch his channel if that looks interesting to you. What else have I been watching recently? I also recently watched the Normal Boots hardcore that they put out I was gonna say not too long ago. I think it was like over a year ago. But you know, I held off on doing it for so long because I have no affiliation with Normal Boots. I don't know anything about, like, all I knew about Normal Boots prior to that was Madness, and I didn't really like Madness, honestly. It's just not for me. I'm not really big on tier lists and stuff like that. And so, you know, a show that's entirely based around like people arguing which is better, I was sort of like, I don't care. And so I kind of stayed away from Normal Boots for a while. But, you know, Season of Hardcore had all the charm of the old seasons of Hardcore. It was like another one. It was like a wonderful little present now that PBG gameplay is dead. You know, it's like oh, there's another one. There's another season. Oh my gosh. It was really good. I liked it a lot. So, if you're a hardcore fan, if you're a hardcore fan of hardcore, go track it down. It's a good season. Very interesting. I hope they do more. Although, to be perfectly honest, I would not be surprised if they didn't. I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't look like... Well, I shouldn't speculate on things like that. I don't know. I have no idea. Todd says at the end of it that he will do another one, so we should assume that he will eventually do another one. No reason to think otherwise. And I hope that they do. I hope they let me go. I hope they invite me, the unknown YouTuber that I am. Except to those wonderful 87 people out there who have subscribed to me, thank you very much. I hope more do. But yeah, I hope they do another one. Because I feel like as a format, it just has so much opportunity for him, for like, not growth necessarily, but like, it's not like it's a worn out idea, you know? In my opinion, I feel like it would be one thing if like they were running out of like games to play, because I mean they have actually succeeded at some of the hardcores, you know, like if they were out of things to do, if they were retreading old ground repeatedly, that'd be one thing. But I don't really feel like they've exhausted everything, even of just one game, even of just Minecraft. So I think there are more options out there. I think that there are more opportunities for future hardcores, and I hope that they do them, because I very much enjoy this show, and it's all about me. So there. I think lots of people do. So we'll see. I don't know. It seems like again, probably shouldn't speculate on this, but it does seem like PBG has kind of moved or changed its perspective on in terms of like what to use YouTube for. Like he uses it primarily for his main videos and also for his sort of edited stream archive, and it seems to be doing just fine for him. So maybe that is what PBG gameplay is nowadays. And if that's the case, well, times change, you know. If he's having success with it, more power to him. I do still tend to frequent the PBG gameplay page, though. PB and Jeff. Rip PB and Jeff. So much fun. At least it's still there, though. I mean, he didn't take it down. That's something. I'm just rambling at this point. Alright, Kaya. How are you looking? It's coming along. It's coming along. That eye looks good. I like that eye. I actually, this is something that I really... Oh, wait, no, he has the diamond-shaped eyes, doesn't he? Does he have the diamond-shaped eyes? I know at least one of the characters has, like, diamond-shaped eyes. I think it actually is Kaya. I'm going to kind of give this a bit more of a point. Yeah, I like the way that Genshin Impact does character eyes, because like character eyes are one of the things that I have difficulty with. Just because my way of drawing eyes hasn't really changed much over the years. I tend to draw eyes in a very simple way, based on like a pen and paper style. So like, I'll give you an example. So here, I'll draw one up here. So if I were to draw Maria's eye, I'd draw it like this. That. And then Maria's eyes are a little unusual, or a little unique in that I don't actually draw her pupils. But that's pretty much Maria's eye. Easy enough. You can see it's very simple, though. It's a very simple eye because I started drawing characters on small notebooks, so I didn't have like a lot of space to work with, and so eyes became very simple. But the way that Genshin does their eyes, they have an interior pupil section that's open. Then they have bars that reach to the sides. And then oftentimes they have like little marks down here, and the upper section is kind of like shaded a different color. So like there's a lighter, so let's say this is green. There's a lighter green, a very light green, and kind of a darker green. And it creates a very like complex eye without a whole lot of effort. So it's pretty cool. I've actually started adopting it in other drawings, non-Genshin related drawings. So I should save that. Should save you too, Kaya. I don't know. It's a good eye shape. I like it a lot. All right. He's got a big fuzzy thing here. Kind of losing track of here a little bit. I kind of like these like big fluffy mantles and stuff. When I was younger, I didn't really like them because my first sort of experience with like a character who had like a big fluffy thing on their shoulder was Sesshomaru from Inuyasha. So if you don't know what he looks like, let's have a picture of him. Let's see, Sesshomaru. Anything with Inuyasha? No. I have a terrible old picture of him that I drew. Let's see. Where's my terrible old picture of him? There he is. There's a terrible old picture of him. You can see he's got like this big fluffy thing on his shoulder. It's just like a big fluffy thing. It's never explained. He's just got a huge fluffy thing on one of his shoulders. And you know, growing up, I was like, what is this dumb thing on his shoulder? Why is it only on one shoulder? Blah, blah, blah. I couldn't understand it. And, but I kind of like him now. It's like a neat accent to have this like big fluffy mass on your shoulder. I don't know. I feel like it lends kind of like a, not a barbarian touch, but it kind of harkens to an older time. When people were like fighting, you know, big woolly beasts to get their fur to keep warm in the winter, you know, not a prehistoric, but an earlier time. It's cool, especially, you know, if you're playing a game that is set in those kind of times. It's reasonable. You know, nowadays I think it's a little questionable to have a whole lot of fur, you know, in your clothing design. But, you know, wool is fine. Fluffy wool, that's fine. We don't have to kill the sheep for that. That's dangerous territory. I'm not going to wait into that. That's dangerous territory. Nothing political, thank you. This is something I learned from actually a Toriyama drawing, and also both a Toriyama drawing and also a Chrono Trigger drawing, specifically Robo from Chrono Trigger. When I was younger, if I had like a large mass of something like a material like metal or something like that, I would just kind of leave it blank, you know? Like it'd just sort of be like clean because it's metal, you know, it's shiny. And if you look at like the illustrations of Robo, he has like all these little like bumps and nicks on his chassis. And at first you're like, oh, what a poorly maintained robot. This thing looks terrible. But it has so much character, you know? Again, getting back to like the One Piece thing. You can draw things that are perfect and pristine, but they don't have the same character that something that's been through the ringer has, you know? I feel the same way in terms of adding in like hairlines like I'm doing right now. You know, like when I was younger and I would draw a character's hair, it would just sort of be flat, you know? Just like flat, smooth, that's it. But nowadays I put in these little lines to kind of break it up and give it more character. Let's see here. Hatching. Oh. So people out there watching this, did you enjoy this? Did you enjoy watching me just sketch? Because it's actually very beneficial to me to do this sort of thing, because it gives me a forum to work on a drawing and feel like I'm serving sort of double duty. Like I feel like I'm also making content, so to speak. And that is a beneficial thing to me. Actually, I'm just going to make this solid. I wanted to kind of try and make these a little bit more high contrast, so I'm just going to black out the darker sections of his outfit. Yeah, it's sort of like it's a nice opportunity for me to work on stuff. Although I think probably I'll if I do this in the future, I will try to keep it to pictures that, you know, like Kaya here, where I started it on stream so you can see the whole process. Because I think that's, I don't know, I feel like that's more interesting. That's generally more interesting to like see the whole process rather than just like come in halfway. And if no one liked this, I won't do it again. That's fine too. You felt like this is dumb and it's not what not what you subscribe to me. If you subscribe to me, please do. Or follow me. If you follow me, please do. If you're like, this is dumb, I don't care about this, I don't care about this nonsense, get back to playing Samurai Legend Musashi. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'll keep it to myself. But if this does interest you, please let me know, because I would love to hear that. Love to find out what people are into. Because when you're a small channel and you don't have a whole lot of feedback, you're kind of riding by the seat of your pants in terms of a lot of things. You're just sort of like, I hope people like this, because if they don't, I'll never know. People will just not subscribe or watch, and I'll be sad. There are benefits to being a small channel, but there are also drawbacks. Challenges that you must face. Alright, Kaya's looking pretty good now. Let's see. Okay. Let's save this. Let's give him some color. Listening to music from Seiken Setsu 3, also known as Trials of Mana, which I still think is a dumb name. I prefer my name, which is Stone of Mana, because it makes more sense and it just sounds better. But anyway, You should have consulted me for remaking it. You should have consulted me. That's what I say. They shouldn't have. They absolutely shouldn't have. And I'm glad they made it on their own, because if they were expected to consult a random chicken, then we never would have gotten the game. But yeah, that game had some pretty good music. Should I darken his? I guess I should darken his eye patch too. Now that I think about it. Just give it like an accent line here. I think that'll give it more impact too. Like I'm planning to darken his hair, but right now he looks way too like pale. I gotta fix that. The song from the last level in Halo. Y'all play Halo out there? I actually played Halo with that friend of mine who lived up the street that I've mentioned before. It was cool. It was like the first FPS that I really personally got into that was unrelated to like wanting to play with just friends or whatever. Cause I had played like GoldenEye with friends and stuff, but it was like I was never really interested in GoldenEye like on my own. I was just sort of like, okay, whatever, we'll play when we have the opportunity. But with Halo, I was actually kind of like, this is cool. I wish I had an Xbox. I still don't have an Xbox actually, but I was like, wish I had an Xbox. This is fun. Combat Evolved had really cool music. Okay. So we need to give him some color here. And what I'm going to do with his hair is I'm going to just block fill it in at first, and then use the eraser to pull out highlights. It's going to be a little bit different from what I did with the other two. This is Hayate no Gotoku's soundtrack right now. It's the like emboldened theme, I guess you could say. Hayate is feeling more confident. That was my first anime that I was into. Kind of a weird one, I guess, to start as your first, but... Well, again, let me bring that back. I used to watch stuff like Gundam and such on Toonami, so I guess it wasn't the first one. But it was the first one when I got back into anime. Speaking of, actually, I started reading it again recently. Oh, I love this song. I almost don't want to talk because I love this song so much. Yeah, I started reading Hayate no Gotoku again, and I had spent many years away from it, and where I stopped, I stopped because they didn't have any more translated in America, and so I just kind of like let it lay fallow. I let it lay fallow for like many years. So when I went back to read it, I was like, I'm just gonna finish it off. I'll buy whatever, couple of books are left and just finish the series. I was like not even halfway through, and apparently it's still going. It's one of those mangas that just goes on for a really long time. It's got like 40 volumes or something. It's kind of ridiculous. I know earlier I was talking about One Piece being too long. Kind of feel like that's a little bit too long too. I feel like they should have gotten to the point by now, but it's what you're into. It's what you're into. So folks out there who play Genshin, do you have a preferred element? Do you have an element that you wish you were? Do you have like an OC, do not steal, Genshin that you're like, I am Animo, or I'm Pyro, or whatever? I think I mentioned this before. I made visions for myself and my friends out of like 3D printed them. They turned out very well. And I wound up with Geo, actually. So I have a Geo vision. Still very curious what they're going to do about Dendro. So I remember I was reading an article about it, and they were talking about how no one really knows what Dendro is going to be like, because right now the only elemental combination you have with Dendro, which if you don't know, if you don't play the game, Dendro is like plant magic. Right now the only real like elemental reaction we have for Dendro is that it burns. It's like nothing else. And so nobody really knows, okay, well, what's Dendro going to do? What's it going to be strong to? I suspect it's going to be strong to Hydro. Based mostly on Pokemon. But I don't really know. I'm curious. I heard that they are close to releasing a Dendro character, so that should be fun whenever it happens. And to know that the next area that the game is supposed to go to is supposed to be a Dendro-centric area. But we'll have to find out. We'll see. This song we're listening to right now, which on my computer is called Forgotten History. I don't know what the actual name is. I think the actual name is just Tower. It's from the DQ8 soundtrack, and it's really, really pretty. It's one of the songs that made me fall in love with the Dragon Quest VIII soundtrack. I mentioned earlier that I was really into DQ8. DQ8 was... Have you ever had a game that was kind of like a savior in one way or the other? Like it just had such a huge impact on you in some way or another. I've had a couple of games that are like that for me. One of them is Dragon Quest VIII, because when I first played DQ8, I was becoming very disillusioned with RPGs. I was starting to think that I was never going to find another RPG that I was interested in, because they were all so long. They were long, exhaustively long. They were so focused on the battles, and the battles are boring. Blah blah blah. I was just having all kinds of doubts about whether or not any new RPG would ever interest me. And then I played Dragon Quest VIII, and it was everything I could have hoped for. The music was lovely, the art style was beautiful, the world was open and engaging. It was fun to just walk around, you know? Like, it was fun to just explore the world in Dragon Quest VIII. Plus, and this is important for me, I found this out later when I played more of the games in the series, it actually had characters as compared to like generic default characters. And the characters were fun and interesting and engaging, and they looked cool, and I just can't say enough good things for that game. Wonderful game. Wonderful game. He definitely looks better with his hair the right color. It's kind of a shame you can't see his dark skin too. Like, I like the fact that he's got kind of like he's got like dark skin. He kind of gives me like a Middle Eastern vibe, which is cool. But I don't know how I would pull that off. But I'm trying to stick it to like white, black, and then like 2 shades of the same color. That's what I've done thus far. So I want to kind of stick with that paradigm. now we're listening to music from Final Fantasy V. A wonderful game that I have shared with all of you. We got to see the fun voyage of Dozel and friends as they took on the powerful magical tree X-Death. Ooh. If you're interested in what I'm talking about, go to my channel on YouTube. It's in the description. Watch my stream archives and subscribe. Ooh. I don't know why, but I'm a ghost now. Ooh. All right. Mr. Kaya Snap Eraser. That doesn't look good. Cool. Been good, Kaya. Alright, let's give him a little bit more definition with this lighter color. I'm just gonna keep talking about the music now. This is from Artanelico 2. Y'all maybe have heard me talk about Artanelico. I am actually an advocate of the Artanelico series. I think that they have a bad reputation that is perhaps undeserved. There are problems with the game. There are lots of problems with the games. But every game has problems. Why should Artanelico be the only one that gets the shaft because of it? I think that they're a lot of fun, and I love the setting of the Artanelicos, or like I think the games are called the Exapico universe. I think that's the general term for them. I think that they like their settings, like they're all set in strangely confined worlds. So like the first Artanelico takes place entirely on an ancient like tower and a small like floating island near it. That's like the whole world, and they work that into the story. Like the anxieties and the tensions that would exist in such a constrained environment are present, and they do an even better job with it in the second game, where the world is under threat of collapsing basically. And it's just, I don't know, it's well done, and I think it deserves better than it gets. But again, that's me. Alright, Mr. Kaya, I think you're about done. Let's see if we can fix these a little bit here. That eraser didn't work quite like I wanted it to, so... Oh, oops. Not that. This was another anime that I was like really into when I first watched it. I like it a little less now. It's called a Penny Pony Dash. Maybe it's still funny, but it's one of those ones that like when I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know things could be this funny, and then nowadays I'm sort of like, I wonder if I should. Let me try something real quick here. I'm gonna try and make his hair highlights darker. Oh gosh, what is this? No, not that. There we go. I think that might work a little bit better. What do you think? I know I'm the only person here, but what do you think, me? I think so. I think you're especially handsome tonight, Mo. Why, thank you, me. So nice. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Me. Can't do that, I'm sorry. Some music from Phantom Brave. A game that I've still not finished. I've tried to play that game numerous times, and I've yet to finish it. It's that Nipponichi paradigm of game design where it's like, hey, do you want to play this game for the rest of your natural life? Okay, we've got a game for you. Do you not? Well, maybe this isn't the game for you. I just feel like there's such commitments. Like, the only time I've really finished Disgaea 1 or 2 was at like one of the lowest points in my life where I had nothing to do, and I would just like it was when I was an undergraduate. I had no friends. I would come home after class and just grind out levels in Disgaea for hours. So it was through the fact that my life was very low stakes that I was able to finish one of those games. I feel like this doesn't speak super well for the games in general, but you know, I was probably just being inefficient. That's usually what it is. Usually I'm just inefficient at things. So. That said, the game was a real blessing during that time of my life. I was pretty depressed. It's weird to think that, you know, a game can be important in that way, but they can be. They really can be. Alright, Kai, you're looking pretty good. Oh, I think I'll stop here. Hopefully someone enjoyed this. You know, I'll be back on a game on Thursday. I'll play a game and not make you watch me draw Genshin characters, but hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope it was useful. You know, I hope it was interesting, something like that. And I'll see you next time. I'm MoeChicken. This has been me drawing, and thanks for stopping by.